Hi everyone, I thought today we would do a picture out of, oh my cable's in my way, hold on a minute, out of Rita Berman's Europa book. I know her new book has come out. I hope I've got it by the time this video goes out, but because I'm recording a bit in advance, I don't have it yet. There isn't a lot underneath here. I would maybe put a book under it, but I don't have one in here, so I'm just going to wing it. Now this to me looks like a little sort of tile design. Now we could keep it quite plain without much of a background, or we could pop a background on. I'm going to just start colouring and make up my mind later, so we'll just see how it develops. Now I'm just going to work in the centre and move outwards. I've got my Arteza expert pencils today. I just grabbed a set that I haven't used for a little while. I thought it would be fun. So I'm going to start with the middle. Should we come in a little bit closer? Let's try and line you up straight-ish. So I think in the centre we'll just do a little bit of this. And then I might do this one in this too, just because it's quite a light yellow. I think it'll be easier to see. I can hear a little bit of a strange noise outside. Not sure if it's being picked up on camera, but it's by the camera mic. It's just a little dog out there making a bit of a noise. I'm going to go to a yellow ochre now. It's a more browny yellow for this bit. Now I think I'm going to make it maybe a little darker around this circle. So we'll start to just add in a little bit of different colouring, a few layers. Now to me, although it's called an ochre, it actually goes down quite orangey, I think, which is rather attractive, I have to say, rather than the sort of brown colours I would associate with an ochre. But the barrel looks quite brown, but this looks quite orange. I think it's nice. So I hope everyone's well today. I've been busy this morning. Had the kitchen fitting company saying they want to start phase 1 tomorrow, so that was very exciting. I had my tap arrive for my new sink, although that won't be done until September. I just got it ordered because you know how it is, you pick something and you want to make sure it's available, so I just got on and ordered it, so that arrived. Mostly the fitters and the kitchen suppliers are doing all the ordering, but the company our suppliers use for taps didn't have one that fitted our requirements, and they aren't allowed to order from anyone else, but they're very specific. I'm not sure why, but so excuse me. I'm going to go onto this honey colour. It's a slightly darker yellowy colour into this gap here, but I'm going to add in a second colour as well in a minute. Anyway, so I had to order that, but that was no hassle. She helped us to find it and I ordered it. It's easy. I was just online. So the tap arrives. This excitement is building, so I had to empty out the cupboards that are being demolished, so I was busy doing that at lunchtime, and I thought I'd better do a load of washing. I didn't have a full load, but I thought I might not be able to wash because it's the laundry cupboard that they're going to be demolishing. Although the washing machine is staying on the floor there, I just thought there might be mess and stuff. I'm going to use the cocoa brown. I want a little bit of shadow underneath this, so I'm just going to try and pop a light layer around the edge of here. I don't know how well it will work. I'm just going to give it a go. Anyway, so I had to do a bit of tidying and that sort of thing. I also had some freelance writing work in today. I haven't had much for ages, so it's nice, little bit of extra. Few pounds. This doesn't pay much, it's only a morning's work, but you know, it all helps. And it's a bit different, I find, because you know, it would be lovely to just be colouring and making videos a lot, which I do a lot, but sometimes it's nice to have a little something different to do. So that was fun. As much as I love colouring, it's given me a little bit of something different. I was also editing and exporting while I was doing it, so I was still doing colouring-y based things. That's okay. I think I'm going to go back over it with my honey and just try and sort of blend it in a little bit. I think it will look better. You may not even really notice much of a difference, but I will, and I'll know that I've put that effort in. Just to put a, there we go. Okay, the next circle I am going to do in a more orangey brown. So I'm just looking, I've got this burnt ochre, I think will work nicely. Now if you don't have the Arteza Expert, they do the a premium set in a tube, which I would highly recommend, to be honest. It's a really good value for money, or it was when I bought it. To be honest, I can't speak as to how it is now. And I'm trying to get quite a good thick layer down on this one. And it's got a lot of the colours from this set. This is 72, there's only 48. I say only, 48 is a really good amount, cocoa brown. I'm going to go around the edge again. And they're great for travelling because they're in a tube. The lid fits on really securely, so you can pop them in your bag. They're quite small. You know, imagine the tube might be a bit like this, fixative spray size. Whereas compared to a tin, which is flat and big, and also I find a lot of my tins come open when I put them sideways, so they spill out into my bag, and I don't like that happening to my pencils. Now hopefully you can see this looks slightly like there's a shadow around the edge. I know it might be supposed to be a tile, which would be flat, but I just want to do it in a fun way that I'm going to like and enjoy. So I've actually coloured, there's a postcard of this, I think, in the postcard set, and I coloured it for my dad for a birthday card. And I'm going to do reds, but I'm going to start with this Garnet red, which is really quite dark in the centre of the petals, and then move out to lighter and lighter colours. And I coloured it in all greens because that's his favourite colour, so that was fun. So I moved right away from green to do something really different for this one. And the postcard one is slightly different. What I like about Rita's postcards is they're not the same as the images in the book. They're sort of, they've been slightly adjusted so that they work on a smaller scale. So it's not like this was just shrunk. It wasn't. There wasn't all this detail around it. It was slightly changed. I can't remember, to be honest. As I've given it away, I don't have it. But I have ordered Rita's postcards for her new book because I really like them. I'm just going all the way around the edge to get a really dark defined line. My idea was to try and sort of slightly fade it out towards the ends of the petals. So we'll leave that there for now. It may need more blending and more fiddling, for want of a better word, but I'm just going to move through the reds. So we're going to go to the passion fruit, which is a slightly lighter red, and take it up a layer. So I'm going to overlap the bits that we've done already and just fade it up like that. It's really quite simple. And actually, as I come up, I just take my pressure off the pencil a bit so that it goes down lighter. It's not easy to do that. It takes practice, but we're all practicing all the time. If we're colouring, I would advise colour a little bit a day if you can, and you're getting that practice in. Even if you're colouring something teeny, one petal, one leaf, you know, just a little bit, just a token bit if you haven't really got time. I do that. I always colour every day. So if I'm mega busy and I just really haven't got the time, I have my book on the side of my desk, it's always there, with the pencils out. I often put them away and then at the end of the day so they don't get dusty. I'm going to use the magenta next and just do the same thing. So over the bit that's not fully done, and just take it up. And just grab one pencil out, do a tiny little bit, and then I can say I've coloured that day. You know, and that's rare when I get a day when I'm not really having time. Usually I make time, but obviously we have those days when we just can't. So it might be after breakfast quickly, or before, even first thing in the morning when I first get up, or it might be see, I've taken that a lot further up than these. Let's take it further up. Or in the evening just before I go to bed, something like that, anything, just so I do a little bit. and then I'm keeping my hand in. I find that if I don't do lots of colouring for a few days, when I get back to it I get blisters. My hand's really sore. I don't want that to happen. Whoops, it's good incentive. Carmine red next. Let's start here. So this one is a really pretty red. I'm really going to start to try and intensify that colour because I've only got a couple left, and take it right to the end like that. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on each one, just getting a layer down, really. Trying to make it darker down here, more intense was always the idea. So yes, I do a little bit each day, but often a lot. On a weekend I have more time because I'm not usually filming, although lately I will be, I'm sure, just because of the noise in the kitchen and things like that. And I can do 2 or 3 pictures in a day if I'm at home, which is nice. I like that. But it depends. It's not a race. I get real satisfaction from finishing a picture. But if I finished a picture and rushed it and it doesn't look very nice, I don't get satisfaction from that. But I am a quick colourist, and I don't do difficult, complex things. I keep it easy, simple, quick background, bit of pastel, smudge, off we go, done. You know, I sometimes do pencil backgrounds, but you know, it's usually quite quick or no background, you know, and obviously pages take me different lengths of time. I find it interesting, some people say, how long did the page take you? Well, or how long does a page take you? Well, it really depends on the page. It's a difficult question to answer. I can do a page in less than an hour if it's a simple mandala and it's a small book, small size, because these books are quite small. Some books are, like Johanna Basford's books, are much bigger. If you've got a double page in a Johanna Basford book, it's going to take you some time. But if you've got a little image like this in a small book, we're moving away from the middle, aren't we? It doesn't take anything like as long. So it just depends on what you're doing. So it's, you know, it's a bit of a mix, really. So my son had some excitement yesterday. He was streaming, and he was doing a live stream. He's playing a game. He does Minecrafty thing. I think it was a Minecraft game. I don't know. Anyway, he was streaming a game, and the particular game that he was playing has some perks which you can buy, and he was asked me to buy it for him for his birthday. He's already had his birthday by the time this video goes out, but it doesn't matter. This is my last red I'm going to use, which is the crimson red, and I'm just going to finish off, really. Just try to fill in all those little white gaps a bit, even it out, put down more layers at the bottom where we want it to be heavier, that sort of thing. And anyway, someone, he happened to mention it was his birthday coming up, and someone bought him this thing for the game, which he'd asked me to buy him for his birthday, so now he's got it. So I was like, oops, got to think of something else now. But that was really nice for him. It's really motivating. You know, I know too, when you're making videos all the time, that if someone gives you a little something, it can just be really lovely. But for me, whether it's a sort of physical gift or a donation, but just likes, comments and things like that mean a lot too. You know, I know not everyone can afford to gift, and that's absolutely fine. Just having a little like, a comment, a subscription, that's all really, really lovely too. It means a lot, you know. I appreciate it all. And also I know that some people have limited budget and they want to just support, they can only afford to support one person a month or whatever. They can't always do everybody. So that's absolutely fine. I would hate to think that someone was giving me money or sending a gift and they couldn't really afford it, and it meant that they had to go without things. That's not what I'm about at all. I want everyone to be able to join in and have fun. And remember, I make money from the adverts. Little bit, but you know, so that helps me too. As much as everybody's help is so appreciated, I have to add. I get very excited, mega excited. It's like, I find it hard to believe that people think it's worth that, if that makes any sense. Right, we have all these outside florals to do, and I'm going to tackle those next. I think they're really cute. And I think we're going to do them as a similar but simpler version of this. So I'm going to go in with the very light yellow, I think, in the middle. So this was the lemon yellow. And I'm going to do them all the same. But we have a dot on each of the petals. And I'm just trying to think about, just making sure you're in shot, what to do with that. But what I think I'm going to do is do a simplified version of the centre flower with less colours. So this is just one colour, obviously, as opposed to however many we did there, 5 I think it was. And then the petals we might do with 2. So I'm going to pick a darker and a lighter, but not the darkest. So I think I'm going to do these two. You can see they're different, but not too far apart. So that's the magenta and the crimson red. So I'm just going to use those two. And we're going to use them in the way we did with this. So I'll start with this one, then my hand won't be blurring the view. So putting down quite a thick layer of the magenta there, and then just gradually fading it like that. Okay, so more layers here, layer, 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 bit less here, just one up to there. If you find it difficult to lighten your touch as you come towards the edge, just darken that up more. So the idea is getting a contrast between the light and the dark. So you should be able to do that. If you really can't get a big difference, you could just use your darker pencil in the centre. But I think this is going to work for me. Like that. So I have ignored the little circles. I'm keeping it simple. Whoops. And then I'll just show you what I'm going to do with the crimson red, which is to just emphasize that bottom bit and then go towards the tip. Try and keep it so it looks a little bit lighter, but layer it over a bit so we haven't got loads of white paper showing through, just a little bit like this. Now I do find sometimes in Rita's books you can see quite a bit of paper through. This will depend on how toothy the paper is. I've noticed it's different between her different books. I don't know why that is. So if that is a problem, you can see here there's a lot of white paper. If this is a problem for you, you can use a blender or a burnisher to get rid of that, or even some blending fluid. I'm not going to. I'm very happy with it looking like that myself, but I know some people don't like it. Another idea is to go over it with a very light pencil. You could maybe use this light pink. This is the pink macaron, or you could use a white, but that would make it look pinker, as would the pink, to be fair. Or you could, as I say, a blender or a burnisher, but I'm happy with that. So all my flowers around the outside are going to look identical to this. Now I want to do them and then decide on what I'm doing for the sort of background areas here, or if I'm going to do anything like the background behind here. I need to do. I'll do that now before I think about anything else. So what I think I'm going to do is use this burnt ochre. I don't want to do too many different colours, but we used it here and I thought it was really pretty. So I'm thinking I'm going to use it behind here. I'm going to put it down, I'm going to try to put it down in a fairly even layer around the whole flower. And then I'm not doing it too hard. There I've done it quite hard and I rather like that darker look, so actually because as you put down another layer, you can see it gets warmer. So I like that. So I'm going to do that. Now the outside, I was thinking of doing it in a darker brown, but I don't think I will do that now. What I'm actually going to do, is use my cocoa brown to make a little bit of shadow, like I did on that one. I don't know if you remember, we went around the edge and made a shadow. I'm going to do the same thing with this flower, if I haven't pressed too hard, and put a bit of shadow in all the way around. And then I'm just thinking about what to do. It takes a bit of concentration in this, hence my silence. I think I'm going to use the really lovely honey colour for the rim, and just plain colouring, but you know, make sure there's enough layers so you can see it, and so you can see it's a different colour to that yellow if you put down a few layers. See, I'm going back and forth over the same spot a little bit, and that layers it up. There we go. Now I need to do all of the flowers. I try not to scribble on my page with the honey. I'm actually going to turn off the camera and do them, and then come back and talk about this background area. I think it's best if I turn it off, or else I'll run out of things to say, because it's, you know, very samey. So I'm going to turn off and I shall be back. So if you want to pause and colour in all yours, you can, but actually you can just carry on watching, because you can do that at the end. Okay, I shall be back. Right, I have coloured all of those in there. That was lots of fun, and I have been thinking about what to do. Let's just sweep that off a little bit, about the background, and I decided that I thought I would quite like to use some greens and make it look as if it's sort of sitting on some leaves. Now we've got a selection of shapes. Let me grab a green so I can show you. This piece coming up here to me looks like it comes up there. Yeah, maybe. And this bit you might think is joined to that, but I think this bit comes across here. So I think we've basically got a smaller leaf in here and then a sort of larger one around here. That's how I have sort of interpreted it. So I am going to use this lime green, which is light. I want to use some lighter colours. Oh, that is really light, isn't it? That's okay for this one. I'm going to go right up to that point. I'm going to use it quite quickly, fairly lightly, because I don't want to take away from my foreground. I just want to sort of frame it with this background. Now I've decided to leave the white all around here. You could do that in a colour. I would suggest it would be a lot easier to use a pastel, a soft pastel, rather than trying to do it. I'm just trying to work out what's going on. It's there, isn't it? Rather than trying to do it with a pencil, which would take quite a long time. And I would also, I would probably do it in a yellow. But I think that the white might help to actually frame it better than a colour. But you may disagree. Some people like to cover each part of the paper. Or if you're good at drawing, you could draw some of these around the edge, couldn't you? Not me though. Could trace them, but it's a bit late now, I've coloured them in. Okay, I think that's what I was thinking. It would be this. Now this bit, sort of thinking round. I think I'm just going to do this bit. I could do this bit in the darker as well, but I think I'm just going to do this back section. You'll see what I mean. I'm not going to go mega dark. Whoops. I am going to use the Absinthe green. Okay, so it's a little bit darker because I've used my lightest, so I can't go lighter. But I felt like I wanted lighter in the middle anyway. And the same sort of quick technique just gets that colour down quite speedily. Gosh, I just checked then, I was paranoid I hadn't pressed the record button. I would have managed. It's nicer to have it recording now, isn't it? So you can see these are fairly similar shades, nice and light, and I'm only doing one light layer. You can layer it up more, you can push harder if you wish, but I really just want it light. I really want the flowers to stand out. Alternative colours for this background could be sort of golden yellows, be nice. I just thought green gives a sort of leaf look, which I felt just sort of worked with the floral pattern. I know it isn't proper flowers and we've got this circle, but you know, for me that's what worked. I think this tile would look really nice in blue and white. I love blue and white look pictures. I've done so many of them, I thought I would do something a little bit different. But yeah, it's up to you. But this is just a different idea. I'm wondering really whether those on that side, what to do with those, whether to do, I think I'm finding that quite a few in this book, quite a few people have already made videos on the different sections, so I don't know whether to do them or not, or just leave it. I'll have a think. It depends. When I come round to doing that page, maybe I'll just do video instead of doing it on my own. You know, I could do that. Now these don't look massively different in colour, but that's okay. I think I'm going to leave it anyway. It looks a little bit more like this is yellow and this is light green, whereas this is green, but I don't think that matters either. I think I am going to leave it there. Just nice and simple. So that is me. Thank you for watching. Please do hit subscribe if you like the video. It does make a difference to the channel. I know it's not always easy if you're watching on a TV or anything to actually click anything, but if you like, subscribe and comment, or one or the other of those, it does help YouTube to see that people are interacting with the video, and they will show it to more people, and we can spread the joy of Rita Berman and of colouring to more people, which is always lovely. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.